Hi, I'm Sean Anderson of CHGO White Sox.
And I'm Ryan Herrera, CHGO Cubs.
And this is CHGO Tavern Style. Today's topic is WrestleMania 40. Who should headline, The Rock or Cody Rhodes? And today, CHGO Tavern Style is presented by Salerno's. Join Salerno's on tap at 2101 West Grand Ave in Chicago for the ultimate big game party on Sunday. They have everything you need to make it a game day to remember. 4:30 pre-party and 5:30 kickoff for that party. So make a call over at 312-666-3444 and make your reservations today. They'll have a $25 food buffet, $20 domestic beer buckets, $4 domestic draft beer, and $7 call drinks and sangria. Thank you very much to Salerno's for presenting CHGO Tavern Style.
Incredible.
You are a wrestling connoisseur.
I fancy myself a wrestling connoisseur.
Why don't you give people the lowdown on the Ryan Herrera lore of you going to WrestleMania?
Oh, me going to WrestleMania. Let's make it fast, because when I was a kid, wrestling was my religion. I watched every Monday and initially Thursday nights and then Friday nights when it changed to SmackDown. I've been to 3 WrestleManias when I was younger. And yeah, wrestling is awesome. Everyone that hates wrestling stinks.
I agree. I went to WrestleMania 23 in Detroit. We were there together. Had no idea that we were going to be coworkers later on, but here we are.
Small world.
So you got 2 wrestling dorks, and if you haven't been clued into the WWE world, we'll take you all the way back to 2023 when Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble, and he talks about finishing the journey.
Finishing the story.
Finishing the story. Thank you for being more specific. His dad held the World Wrestling Federation title at Madison Square Garden, but he was never the actual champion. Goldust was never actually the champion, and Cody has not been the WWE champion just yet. So he's trying to finish that story of his wrestling family career, and he wins the 2024 Royal Rumble. Spoilers. But in that match, CM Punk suffers an injury, and now WrestleMania shifts a little bit. And old friend Rocky Maivia is back in the picture.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
51-year-old Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who debuted at his first WrestleMania in 1997, March 23rd, 1997, when I wasn't even born. Yeah. So this guy has been being at WrestleMania fighting Triple H for the Intercontinental title for over 25 years. Yeah. I guess 27 years, because I don't know how to do math.
Something like that.
What do you make of this whole shtick? Because it's not really The Rock forcing himself in, or we don't think so. It's more Cody stepping aside. Doesn't seem like a guy who wants to finish the journey.
Yeah, well, I think, storyline purposes, right? Like that's what the story is that Cody's stepping aside, allowing The Rock to face his cousin Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. But obviously the rumor mill, and we won't go deep into it, but the rumor mill is that The Rock off screen is actually kind of forcing his way into the main event of WrestleMania 40 against Roman Reigns. Listen, growing up, I was a Rock guy, right? Rock was one of my favorite wrestlers. I love The Rock, and I always have. However, I fall on the side of Cody Rhodes should be in the main event of WrestleMania 40. Listen, they did, like you mentioned, one Royal Rumble 2023 was screwed out of the championship, WrestleMania 39. One Royal Rumble again this year, points at Roman Reigns, points at the WrestleMania sign, does all that, makes it clear he wants to wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 again. And then all of a sudden on Friday night, he is just stepping aside, giving his opportunity to The Rock. Listen, there's a long way to go. We're taping this on Wednesday. Obviously, the WrestleMania 40 press conference has not happened yet, so we want to make sure that make that clear.
We don't know.
We don't know for sure what the match is going to be until probably after that press conference is gone. But the way it looks like right now is Cody Rhodes is stepping aside, allowing The Rock to take the main event at WrestleMania 40. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Well, and this is a show about conversation. We don't know what's going to happen, so why not talk about it? What should happen? What should happen at WrestleMania 40? Roman Reigns is obviously the champion, but do you get creative? Do you make it a triple threat between Cody, The Rock, and Roman? Do you make sure that Cody's able to finish the story after the rousing post-Raw kind of chant that he got from the crowd of "We want Cody"? What do you make? Is it just going to be Rocky stepping in and facing his cousin?
Listen, I think if I had my choice, and again, as I mentioned, I'm a Rock guy. I've always loved The Rock as a wrestler and everything. But to me, it should be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns one-on-one. I think, finishing the story is important to Cody Rhodes. And as we've seen since Friday Night SmackDown with hashtag We Want Cody taking over the world, like the fans want that too. A lot of fans want that too. And again, like The Rock versus Roman Reigns, I get it. That is the money main event. That is going to get the biggest headlines. It's going to probably make the most money. That's the dream match that people have wanted. But to go about it by just taking Cody Rhodes' opportunity from WrestleMania 40 to face Roman Reigns, I think that's the bad way to go about it. I think because The Rock and Roman Reigns being the cousins, the bloodline, that's a whole different storyline in itself. And it's a great storyline, don't get me wrong, but it's a whole different storyline in itself. And I think that finishing the story right now, giving Cody Rhodes that opportunity, that just feels more important. It feels like he earned that, and he should have that. And the way they wrote it before this last week felt like it was going towards that. So the switch didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I'm on Team Cody Rhodes. I think he should face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
I mean, this is a guy, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, that hasn't wrestled in 8 years. I don't know who's clamoring for The Rock to be wrestling anyone at this point. How much can he actually go? Can he go 25, 35 minutes for an actual headlining match? I don't think so. Yeah. I know he's The Rock. He's probably on steroids, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He's got some juice to help him out. But that's not a storyline that needs a title. It's
absolutely
the cousins facing each other.
It's the bloodline. Tribal chief head of the table for sure.
You need Rock versus Roman. You don't need a title to decide that. No one cares if Rock's the champion anymore. No. Again, he hasn't wrestled in 8 years. I don't, or at least at a WrestleMania in 8 years.
Yeah.
So I don't get this. Like when you have the crowd embracing a superstar like this, a person that has the same amount of bloodlines as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Roman Reigns does, and Cody Rhodes, like you have to have the title finish that story. So maybe, is there another pay-per-view before WrestleMania?
We do have Elimination Chamber in Australia coming up, which the thing is, and I look at it as like, could they do The Rock versus Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber and then give Cody Rhodes the main event of WrestleMania? Absolutely. But who's the one making that decision, and do they care about the product or do they care about the money more? I think that's a big question.
Yeah, no, I don't think that you should, but maybe Cody wins the right to fight at WrestleMania in the Elimination Chamber, right? And then it's a triple threat between those three. I don't know. I think that you just need, if anything, someone to come out of retirement to face The Rock, because they're worried about losing that second headliner in CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Hey, I'd be fine to see Seth Rollins take on The Rock. I think it'd be interesting. But, is Steve Austin out in there and around? Can they do the fourth one? If you want to just make money, go dig up some old bones and wrestle him. No one wants to see the peak superstars. Right now, it is clear the guys, it's especially with Punk being out, it's Cody and Roman at the top of the heap in WWE. Yeah, no one wants to see Rock step in and just take over.
And I think The Rock should know, just based on when he was coming up, how important it was to build the next generation of superstars. Mm-hmm. He should understand how important this win, how monumental just anyone beating Roman Reigns right now is after this title reign that he's had, but how important that could be for Cody Rhodes in terms of ensuring he is going to be the guy in WWE going forward. I think that's such a huge moment, and if he's going to be the guy that carries WWE going forward, we're one of the guys, or maybe he's the main face of WWE. This moment of beating Roman Reigns for the title, which to me doesn't feel like it can happen anywhere else but WrestleMania. That's a huge moment. The Rock should know that, and that's why, again, the Cody Rhodes should be the guy that challenges Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
That's Ryan Herrera. I'm Sean Anderson. This has been CHGO Tavern Style, presented by Salerno's On Tap. And again, if you are looking for plans this Sunday, they have an ultimate big game party on Sunday. Call over at 312-666-3444 and make your reservations today. Thank you very much for listening to CHGO Tavern Style.
We all silly like the mayor.